Country music's Entertainer of the Year sets the adrenaline level. And now the Home Depot SEC on CBS. We're about to raise that adrenaline level. From Gainesville come the 11th ranked Florida Gators to take on the hometown Razorbacks of Arkansas as SEC East meets West. The Hogs are back home, and here they come. They've won 8 straight following an SEC loss. They're a great November team under Brett Bielema. And the East leaders from Gainesville, Florida, 6-1, and in first place in the East as they were a year ago. Take a look at the Dr. Pepper SEC conference standings. Florida in the exact spot they were last year. 1 loss and ranked 11th in the country. They own the tiebreaker over Kentucky. The Wildcats host the Bulldogs later tonight. In the West, things have changed a little bit. If you missed it, Texas A&M lost to Mississippi State. Auburn survived. They stay close to Alabama. Of course, it's the Tide and the Tigers later tonight on CBS. And welcome, everybody, to Fayetteville, Arkansas. I'm Brad Nessler. Welcome to Game 2 of our triple header on CBS today. It's good to be back in a CBS booth for the first time in 25 years. John Schriffen will join us on the sideline, but bringing in my lead blocker is Aaron Taylor with me in the booth. You know, 3 losses for Arkansas, Aaron. They were all the top 10 teams, at least at the time. We've been here 3 days. I don't know if I've ever seen a team that wanted to get back to work more than Arkansas had.
I think the Razorbacks are ready. I think you're right. Being around this team, they had to make a decision. When you take an L like that, you have to figure out whether or not you're going to fold your tent or step up and fix the problems. The Sunday following the Auburn game, they got together and had a team meeting. They looked themselves in the mirror and they took some accountability, both as players and a staff. These guys are motivated to get back to their physical, blue-collar, aggressive selves, which means that they're best playmakers and leaders. On the offensive side, Austin Allen, the resiliency of an offense is usually a reflection of the quarterback, so Allen needs to make good decisions and get rid of that football. And Ellis, he has to set the tone for a defense that is looking to avenge that brutal loss they took, giving up 543 yards on the ground to Auburn.
I mentioned Florida's right where they were a year ago. 1 loss, ranked 11th. Last year there were questions about their offense. Jim McElwain's offense in year 2. Still skeptics on that side, but not on the defensive side of the football.
No, we asked defensive coordinator Jeff Collins how this group compared to his group a year ago. He said, hey, we sent a lot of guys to the NFL, but I think this group plays better as a group. And that's what I notice on tape. When you see these guys play throughout the year, all 3 levels, they're playmakers. They can pressure the quarterback. They've got a pair of lockdown corners. They've got one of the best middle linebackers in the country and a defensive line that goes 10 deep across the board. So those guys come in early and often and they're pretty fresh. I'm expecting a heck of a game today, Brad.
11th all-time meeting. Florida's won 9 straight. There was 1 setback. John will be along to talk about that a little bit later on. First trip for Florida into Fayetteville in 8 years. Jim McElwain, his 2nd season as a head coach. He took his Gators to Atlanta a year ago. They're in the driver's seat to repeat as Eastern Division champions if they can just keep on winning. Brett Bielema, his 4th year here in Fayetteville. Even record of 23-23. We mentioned his teams have been great in November and coming off byes and SEC losses. They're hoping for more of that today. Arkansas won the toss. They want the football. So Florida to kick. Pinheiro has got it teed up. And here we go from Razorback Stadium. And they're going to let it go. Touchback. And it'll be the Hogs on offense as we take a look at our starting lineups presented by Chick-fil-A. A guy that's been sensational this year, Austin Allen, their quarterback. His brother Brandon, the starter before him, and now his first season, 3rd most passing yards in the SEC. And entering the day, he was tied for the top spot with 18 touchdown passes.
Allen telling us he's 100% healthy after leaving that Auburn game with the knee contusion. He's going to have to make some throws today in key moments if his ball club wants to get some progress against his defense.
So the Hogs from the 25. And they'll give it to Raleigh Williams on first down, and there's some positive yardage immediately, something they couldn't muster 2 weeks ago against Auburn. He picks up 9. As we take a look at the rest of the starting lineup with Aaron, they made some changes up front with the big fellas.
Yeah, they certainly did. And I think if Arkansas has to win this game, this unit has to play well up front. So keep your eye on the right guard, number 62, Johnny Gibson. He's a walk-on with a great story, making his first start, and he's the one. Arrest with those other 4 guys. They're going to pave the way for Raleigh Williams, one of the SEC's best running backs.
Well, he got 9 on the first carry, so second and short. He gets the call behind his fullback, and he's got a first down across the 35. Let's take a look. Florida defensively. They're very deep up front, and they had the luxury of 2 of the best corners in the country.
No question, man. Every defensive coach in America is envious of Florida's lockdown cornerback duo of Quincy Williams and Jalen Tabor. These guys are best of friends, super competitive, and have a skill set that is perfectly suited for the difficult yet effective press man coverage that they're asked to play.
7 interceptions between these 2 All-Americans. First down for the Razorbacks just outside their own 35-yard line. Sprinkle, the tight end, the motion man, as Allen drops the throw for the first time and fires complete all the way to the 45-yard line. It's his favorite target, Drew Morgan.
Really nice job early on of Auburn establishing the run, but you notice some motion right before then. This is his favorite target, Drew Morgan, running a nice route in between the coverage there. A nice changeup on first down, getting away from the run. Plays like that will help force keep this Florida defense honest.
Morgan came into the day 5th in the conference in receptions. That was 42nd catch of the year. The first down Razorbacks at the Florida 45. End around coming. Deion Stewart, one of the fastest guys on the team, and he gets it near the 41-yard line. Wilson and Davis, the linebacker, made the hit.
Sometimes when you're playing a defense like Florida's that has a ton of speed, running misdirection plays or reverses, trying to get some speed out to the boundary will help slow them down. I think Arkansas is going to definitely try and run in between the tackles, but they also have to have a perimeter run game to stay balanced.
3 wideouts here on 2nd down and 7. Williams a single setback. Play action for Austin Allen. Steps up in the pocket, waits till the last moment, tried to get it to Morgan again, incomplete. That'll bring up 3rd down.
Really nice coverage that time. You saw Austin Allen hold that football there. That's one of the things that the coaches talk to us about, is he's got to have that play clock in his head and get rid of that football. Sometimes he wants to hold on it too long, and that may happen today with as good as Florida is defensively covering up wide receivers.
Razorbacks have given up 21 sacks already this year, and combined the last 2 years they'd only given up 28. So their pass blocking has not been quite what it was, and as Aaron just mentioned, sometimes Allen holds on to it a little bit too long. 3rd down of the shotgun. This time he got rid of it in a hurry, but broken pattern there. C.C. Jefferson was applying the pressure. Toby Baker, the number 2 punter in the conference, set to kick away to Antonio Callaway, who can be dangerous back there, and sometimes he can make some miscues as a punt returner, as he did a couple of times in the Tennessee loss. Baker averaging 45.6 a kick. This is an end-over-end job that Callaway will take a fair catch just outside the 10-yard line. So Arkansas had something going, forced to punt, and that means the Gators offense, Luke Del Rio and company, take over from their own 11-yard line when we return to Fayetteville in a moment. No score early here in Fayetteville as we take a look at the Florida starting lineups presented by Chick-fil-A. All starts with number 14, Luke Del Rio. Their quarterback has had a knee issue a couple of games this year. Started really strong. First 2 games, 6 touchdowns. Now the last 3, 5 interceptions and only 2 scoring tosses. And the rest of the Florida offensive lineup, they like to run the ball to set up the play action for him, Aaron.
Yeah, I think sophomore Jordan Scarlett's emerged as kind of the go-to guy in that run game that's been pedestrian but improving. I think to win this game today, Florida has to run the football, and Scarlett gives them their best chance to do that.
He had a career-high 26 carries in the win over Georgia last week. He flushes out of the backfield. So it's Del Rio all by his lonesome on first down and threw a strike, but it's in and out of the hands and intercepted. Santos Ramirez, touchdown. Hello, Arkansas defense.
Santos Ramirez was the player that forced the fumble against Chad Kelly against Ole Miss to seal that game. He's got a knack for the football. He's a playmaker and a ball hawk. And this is just the old tip drill. Nice tight coverage that time by Arkansas defensively. Ramirez was there to take advantage of it, and credit Josh Liddell for breaking that pass up and getting the first points on the board for Arkansas.
Adam McFain adds the point after a 24-yard interception return, and the Hogs defense strikes first. Aaron, we barely got the graphic off the screen of Luke Del Rio's problems with interceptions in the last 3 games, and this happens.
Well, this one isn't on him. I think it was a pretty good throw. There's going to be a quick slant route right inside. Here you go right here. He's just going to run in here. You're going to have 35. Dwayne Eugene come over. Josh Liddell's going to play him tight. And then playing center field is going to be Santos Ramirez, who's going to clean up for this. That was just good, tight coverage. Liddell knocks that ball free. I think he got scared a little bit because of Dwayne Eugene. And Santos Ramirez gets an early score for the Arkansas defense, who we thought struggled a little bit. It was Florida's defensive backs that we were raving about, but Arkansas getting it done here early.
That's only the second career interception for Santos Ramirez, and he takes it to the house to give his team a 7-0 lead. Adam McFain will kick. Chris Thompson waits back at the goal line for the Gators. And he'll get a shot at this from the 5-yard line. Got a little seam and then got pasted as he crossed the 25-yard line by Nick Washington. So Luke Del Rio comes back out with one throw that probably should have been caught. Arkansas, let's take a look at their defense.
Well, it's certainly no secret that they had their lunch handed to them against Auburn, but early on we see that they've come ready to play. Jeremiah Ledbetter, number 55, they moved him back outside to his more natural position at the defensive end spot, and we've already seen Santos Ramirez making his effort and play have a factor here early on already.
You picked out Santos Ramirez last night in the meeting. I said, why? You said, I think he's going to have a big impact on the game. So far, so good. Here's an end around. Antonio Callaway, who does so many things so well, and he's got it out to the 35-yard line. 7-0 Arkansas early. Florida has moved it to the 35, second down and a yard. And they've got the first down and quite a bit more. Scarlett got hammered, but he got plenty to get it out to the 44-yard line. It was Ramirez who made the stop, but a pickup of 9.
Backs bouncing outside the tackles and getting to the edge is what hurt Arkansas against that Auburn team. That's exactly what they did there, but Santos Ramirez was there to be able to clean it up. I think Arkansas defensively, when you take a look at Luke Del Rio, has been banged up a little bit. He's not at his best when he's on his move, so I think that they're going to try and change the picture on him and try and pressure this kid today.
Well, Michael Pirine in the backfield. Now there's the play action, and now Del Rio's got a roll, got some heat, throws late. Ball's caught, but he's out of bounds at the 45-yard. Tyree Cleveland, the guy that let that pass slip away that ended up being an interception, was the intended target. And the freshman, Akeem McTelvin, they call him Sosa Akeem's the guy that got some pressure on Del Rio.
Yeah, he's a true freshman. Only about 100 snaps coming into today's game, but watching film and looking at this kid, he's somebody that flashes, particularly against the run. When he's engaged with an offensive lineman, if he sees the ball, he's got really violent hands and is able to shed the blocker and get some penetration.
Second down at 10 for the Gators from the 44. Keep it on the ground. It is Pirine to the 48-yard line. It'll bring up a third down. Dwayne Eugene helped in on the stop. One of the tough spots for the Arkansas defense has been that weak side linebacker position. They lost Dre Greenlaw, who they hope to have back in a couple of weeks. He was a all-freshman performer a week ago. That spot's been kind of a touchy one for him.
It has been. Losing Greenlaw was certainly a challenge and an issue. And to Dwayne Eugene's credit, he's in there and he plays hard, but sometimes his eyes get bad. The very first play of the Auburn game, he got sucked inside, got out of his gap. Fundamental defense is predicated upon being gap sound. Here's one of the matchups to watch today. Florida's offense is the best on third down in the conference. Arkansas is the worst.
50% for the Gators on 3rd and 6. They should have had one there. And Keontae Lewis couldn't hold it. That should have been a first down. So a couple of balls, one went in and out of Cleveland's hands. Lewis probably should have had that, and Del Rio's stats aren't looking so good because of his receivers right now.
No, Florida as a team just doesn't look very sharp. Keontae Lewis, he was one of the guys I thought really stepped his game up a week ago against Georgia. Had a really nice game, is a good inline blocker. That's just a pure concentration drop, and Arkansas is going to get the ball back as a result.
Here's the top punter of the SEC, Barry Townsend. Jared Cornelius might have a chance. He will from the 20. Great coverage by Florida. And the Razorback offense is going to start right there when we come back with a touchdown lead. So the offense for the Hogs working from their own 9-yard line. Devwah Whaley, the tailback right now for the Razorbacks, the freshman. He's going to get the handoff. And Whaley's going to lose. Well, he fought for a yard. I was going to say he was going to lose a yard. He got one. Brian Cox is holding on for dear life. John Triffin's our man on the field. Triff, what do you got?
Well, after getting beat up last week by Auburn, the theme heading into this Florida game, man up week. And one of the guys who really stepped up, sophomore walk-on Johnny Gibson. He actually went into Coach Bielema's office and, Coach, give me a chance to play. Well, needing to beef up on that offensive line, Coach actually gave him some reps in practice. And today he is getting his first start. Guys, at 344 pounds, he is now the biggest guy weight-wise on that offensive line.
See how he does today in that first start. Well, right now their running game is working. This time to the outside and a first down by Whaley. Marcel Harris had to run him out of bounds, but he got 16.
Florida's trying to load the box, but they got some good blocks out here on the outside edge to build a wall here, creating a nice wall for Whaley to be able to run behind. It's a pin and pull scheme. They tried to run the linebackers underneath. You can't do that. Just a nice job of play calling, and Arkansas told us we think we can run the football to the edges against Florida, and that's exactly what they did on that last one.
Boy, and John's guy, Johnny Gibson, got a nice seal block on Brian Cox on that play, so that was timely. Here's Austin Allen rolling left. He can throw well going to the left, but he's got a lot of pressure right now. And not what he needed was a hit on the knee. He did pick up about 1.5 yards. Jalen Tabor knocked him off his pins over there. Browns and the Ravens on Thursday Night Football on NFL Network. Here, the SEC on CBS. Arkansas by a touchdown as we approach the midway point of the first quarter. Kendrick Jackson remains in there as the fullback, and Whaley gets another carry, and he found an opening, a big one. Across the 40 to the 42, the freshman goes, and again Marcel Harris from the safety spot had to drag him down.
That offensive line is humming right now. They really worked on the run game during the bye week. They made some changes. They wanted to get more physical. There was a run through. Defensive lineman came too far upfield, creating some big gashes and seams up in there, and the Hogs are rolling. This is really good sign for Arkansas, who felt like a run game was critical to their success today, and they've really got Florida on its heels.
They moved from their own 9 to the 41. Allen wants to throw a screen, got it to Whaley. Whaley's got a blocker. He's got the sideline of the big fella. One more guy to beat. He's going to drag him down, but he's down to the 17-yard line. 42 yards.
Well, offensive linemen can be good at the line of scrimmage, but they can also get downfield. 51, Yelda Froholt right there gets the key block that allows Whaley to get himself downfield until he's finally brought down. But this red zone is a critical area for Arkansas today.
And it's the Verizon red zone this year. 14 touchdowns for Austin Allen in that area of the 18 he's thrown this year. That's pretty impressive stuff on 1st and goal. And it's Williams in the middle of the pack. Williams punches his way all the way. Touchdown, Arkansas. rushing touchdown of the year.
Just a really nice job backside by Dan Skipper and Yoda Froholt to maintain their blocks. Froholt comes off on Jared Davis, one of the best middle linebackers in the country. Good movement at the point of attack, and that SEC strain puts Arkansas up here 14-0.
A 91-yard Arkansas drive in 8 plays. The biggest play of the drive. Devon Whaley on a screen pass took it 42 yards. His counterpart, Raleigh Williams, did the rest down close from 6 yards out. And look at this. Arkansas 14, Florida nothing. Florida coming in had only given up 3 points in the first quarter all year. Arkansas's got 2 touchdowns already.
Yeah, Coach McElwain telling us, you know what, I'll tell you what, I'll be interested to see how we play. He said he liked the makeup of his team, the balance on the defensive side of the ball. Remember, this is a Florida team. To your point, we opened the show. They were 6-1 a year ago. They lost their last 3 games, only scoring 24 points down the stretch. You have to wonder, if you're a Florida fan, if you're starting to see some of those seams start to open here again early in this ball game.
Well, that 91-yard drive between Raleigh Williams and Devon Whaley, they had all of the yardage except that 8-yard penalty. So the 2 running backs did the damage. Kick bobbled, and they'll take a knee. Chris Thompson, Florida bring it out to the 25. First down for the 25, trailing by 2 touchdowns. Crowd getting into it a little bit now, too. Fakes it to Scarlett on the bootleg. Del Rio throws on the run, diving for it and making the catch. Ahmad Fulwood. So nice gain on that play out to the 41-yard line.
Nice throw by Del Rio on play action on first down. Really good coverage across the board. This was about his only option. But Fulwood just getting his arms underneath that football. It was a little underthrown. It was a nice catch.
Very nice. First down at the 41. High snap, bobbled. He got it to Scarlett. That could have been a disaster. Almost a fumble. And a loss of about a yard on the play. It'll be second down and 11. It seems like it was only yesterday I was wearing this blazer. That was a different blazer. It was about 4 inches smaller, I think. Defense is fired up for Arkansas right now. Agim made first contact in there, the freshman, number 3. And it brings up a third down again.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's been a long time that jacket fit then, and it still looks like it fits pretty good now, partner.
Now the crowd's going to get into it at Razorback Stadium right here.
Expect pressure and movement by Arkansas. They want to try and change the picture on Del Rio. Let's see if they do it.
He doesn't want to make another mistake here on third down and long. Has plenty of time and now running out of it. Throws across the middle, but Arkansas is all over that. Jordan Scarlett dropped in his tracks. Only about a yard gain, and Dwayne Eugene, the weak side linebacker, who's made a couple of good plays already, had the stop.
Well, we were talking about Dwayne Eugene being the weak link at that weak side linebacker, but he's playing like a strong linebacker. Good job, nowhere really to go, but Del Rio makes a good decision. Take what the defense gave him, which was a check down, but unfortunately for the Gators, Eugene was waiting on him, forcing another punt. I got to tell you, this Arkansas defense is playing like we expected Florida to play.
Exactly. Johnny Townsend's got to kick it again, averaging 47.6, but these are just the end-over-end type that hope to call a fair catch, and it does, by Jared Cornelius at the 24-yard line. 14-0 Arkansas with 3:21 remaining, and they got the ball back. Great drive last time when they started at their own 9 and took it the length of the field for a touchdown. Good field position, or better I should say here, working from the 25. Here's a jet sweep by Cornelius. Broke one tackle, but not the second wave. And finally they roll him out of bounds. Maybe got a yard out of it. And now we got a little skirmish going on. When you run a guy out of bounds on the home team sideline, it's sometimes not the best thing to do.
No, you got to make a business decision there sometimes. And Marcus May trying to take on Dan Skipper, who's 6'10". He's a pretty good football player, but you better think about that. Nice job that time of setting the edge, and Florida's defense recognizing a jet sweep back into that boundary. True to form, Arkansas using a lot of motion and trying to get that perimeter run game established.
If there's a taller tackle in football than Dan Skipper, I haven't seen him yet. Second down and long. Austin Allen straight drop, fires, intercepted down the sideline. Luke Dawson will coast in. Touchdown, Florida.
Just too easy that time for Dawson.
Dawson, somebody that stepped up and had a really good game a week ago, just in one-on-one tight coverage with Jeremy Sprinkle, just beautifully undercuts it. That ball thrown a little bit behind Sprinkle. That was one of the matchups that they wanted to try and attack because of Sprinkle's size, but a costly mistake by the usually good decision-making Austin Allen.
So Duke with the touchdown return. There you see what the Florida Gators have done this season. And in 8 of the last 9 years, so we've had 2 pick sixes in the first 12.5 minutes of the football game. Extra point by Pinheiro is good, and that changes the complexion of things in a hurry. 2:44 remaining in the first quarter. First it was Santos Ramirez as he took this one off the ricochet for the score for Arkansas. And Duke Dawson and that Florida defense said, anything you can do, we can do too. He goes 36 yards for the touchdown, and it's 14-7 Arkansas. Florida with a defensive touchdown has cut the lead to 7. Austin Allen, his 8th interception of the year, and that one a costly one. 36-yard return for the score. Pinheiro to kick. Deion Stewart and Keon Hatcher wait on the other end. This one's returnable for Stewart from the goal line. A little guy with a lot of speed. Stewart flags down. It's going to come back anyway as he gets it out to the 23-yard line.
We're going to learn a lot about Austin Allen's competitive toughness. How a quarterback responds after some adversity tells us a lot about him. We're going to get a chance to see that right here from Austin Allen.
Here's Austin Allen going deep for Drew Morgan. Morgan knocked down. It's after the ball had already passed him. Fans are looking for pass interference. They're not going to get it. Looked to me like when the contact occurred, the ball was already past him. But let's take another look.
Yeah, does a nice job of getting inside Jalen Tabor. But then the safety comes over Nick Washington and hits him. I think they have a right to gripe. I think Washington was aware that that ball had hit the ground. But in real time, it was kind of bang, bang. Florida got to be careful. Remember, penalties are a real issue for the Gators.
Might have gotten away with one there. Second down at 10. Little counter as Williams trying to weave his way through the middle of the Florida defense. Got it out to the 24-yard line. And we'll bring up another third down here as we wind the clock down near the end of the first quarter.
Arkansas doing a really nice job of winning on first and second down to give themselves some makeable and manageable third downs. Here we have a 3rd and 5. We've seen them in situations like this go back to their screen game. I would look for a high percentage pass and throw, or maybe take advantage of a blitzing Florida defense and maybe run a draw.
Allen in the gun. Pressure coming, fires down the middle, too far in front of his intended receiver, Jared Cornelius. And Caleb Brantley was applying the pressure on Austin Allen.
And so impressed with Caleb Brantley, the redshirt junior. Here he is right here. Just working over Johnny Gibson, that right guard. Those stunts, the crisscrossing of the defensive lineman, Florida is so effective at. When you got a new player in there facing that speed, it's hard. The key to picking up stunts is having your shoulder pads stay on the same level. Florida will definitely come back to that until Arkansas proves they can stop it. But pressure is what's forced that incompletion.
So Toby Baker set to punt again. It'll be probably the last play of the quarter. You don't have a penalty. Nice kick. Spiral goes out of bounds. And they're going to spot it right about the 36-yard line to end quarter number 1. That's the end of the first. 14-7. The Razorbacks at home in front. We'll return to Fayetteville after this message and a word from your local station. Just about set to start the second quarter from Fayetteville. Hometown Razorbacks lead the Florida Gators 14-7. Brad Nessler, Aaron Taylor, John Shriven with you from Reynolds Razorback Stadium. Florida with the ball They had it about half the amount of time that Arkansas did in the first quarter. Del Rio, the throw. Deep down the sideline, he overshoots everybody. That was intended for Antonio Callaway. Jared Davis get another look at the injury to his ankle again as he just pulled up lane on his own. They actually cut his sock off, but they put his shoe back on, so it looks like he wants to come back out there. Whether he will or not, I don't know.
Yeah, I tell you what, NFL scouts are drooling over this kid because of his physicality, his vision, his anticipation, and the way he takes the game to the offensive line. He's a downhill player and been a heck of a weapon here for Florida.
Second down. Del Rio pump fakes and then throws an out that's too far out in front of his intended receiver, Freddie Swain. Let's bring in John on the sideline.
Well, I noticed when they taped up Davis's ankle for a second time after they had taken his shoe off, they put so much tape on that left ankle, he actually had a tough time getting that shoe back on. But they taped his ankle, and they put more tape over the shoe. He did a little test on the sideline, and he went over to the trainers. He said, I'm good to go. So he looks like he's coming back in, guys.
Tough dude. Thanks, John. Meanwhile, third down for Florida's offense. Mark Thompson in the lineup for the first time today, and the first time since the suspension that kept him out of the Georgia game a week ago. Del Rio rolls left and throws short. Got it complete to Goolsby as tight end. Battles his way maybe to the 40. But that's all he can get. And it's fourth down, and they'll have to give it up.
Credit Arkansas's defense on the back end of doing a nice job. Del Rio had no options to throw. Once again, forced to throw a check down. This is a second third down in a row that Arkansas did not bring the blitz. They only rushed 4. That means they dropped 7 in coverage, and that zone coverage doing a nice job of limiting the options of the Gators.
Remember, you take away that pick 6 by Duke Dawson, and Florida has done absolutely nothing so far. It's been a great performance by Arkansas defense. Booming kick this time from Townsend. Boy, he got all of that, baby. To the 15-yard line. Fair catch by Jared Cornelius. Jim McElwain's team down a touchdown, and the Razorbacks back on offense when we come back. Arkansas with a touchdown lead, but they have been stalled now on offense their last few series. They've had 6 drives, and they've only had a total of 3 first downs. Remember, they scored once on a pick 6. Here's a big opener, though, by Devois Whaley. And he's out to the 25-yard line. Devois, freshman out of Beaumont, Texas, originally committed to Georgia and then flipped over to Arkansas, and Brett Bielema was pretty happy about that.
Look how Florida's crowding the line of scrimmage. They're getting too far upfield, and what that's doing is it's taking them out of their run lane. This is a very athletic defensive front, but they've got to play a little bit more physical along the line of scrimmage because they're creating these rush lanes themselves.
Arkansas over 100 yards on the ground now, and they'll keep it on the ground. And Whaley again covers that football with both hands, gets out to the 29-yard line. Good looking running back. 216-pounder, 5'11". He's powerful, he's fast, he keeps that ball high and tight. We noticed that in practice yesterday, and he is going to be a good one. He's already a good one, I should say. He might be ending up being a great one. Of course, Bielema at Wisconsin and at Arkansas always having 1,000-yard rushers, sometimes 2 of them. And so far, Whaley has more yards than Florida does as a team.
Bielema told us that he's the most complete running back he's ever recruited.
That's saying something.
Yes, it is.
It's Austin Allen trying to get some of it back, and he's got Sprinkle down the sideline. He's got a lot of it back. All of it, almost, to the 34-yard line.
Well, this is what it is that they wanted to do, is be able to push the ball downfield. They just erased that costly penalty there. They go to their big guy, Jeremy Sprinkle, who's been on fire. As we take a look there at Adam McFain, who may have an opportunity to kick a field goal. But if you're Brett Bielema, you want to get this football into the end zone and not put it on your kicker. 2
huge plays by a huge tight end in Jeremy Sprinkle. One of the captains, all 6'6" of them. That was a 34-yard pickup to the 34. First down there for Arkansas. Williams, right side, broke 1 tackle. Here he goes. All the way down to the 22-yard line. 12 more yards and a first down for Williams.
That time it was Jared Davis trying to run underneath. Here he is. He's going to try and get down, but he misses the tackle for another nice gain for Arkansas up front. That's a little bit of a change up of a play call because the time's running tick, tick, tick. but they executed beautifully.
Under a minute. They'd like to get a touchdown. You saw McFain working on the sideline as Austin Allen goes to the corner to the end zone. Just overshot Keon Hatcher. Quincy Wilson flag down.
We'll have to take a look at that. That looked like pretty dang good coverage there by Quincy Wilson. He was in phase, running step for step for Keon Hatcher.
And here's the call.
Pass interference, number 6 on the defense. Penalty is 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Big pass interference on Wilson. Here's another look.
Yeah, he's got his right hand all over him and grabs him. I wasn't able to see that on the first look, but the officials doing a nice job. They're all over it. Sometimes they allow the hand checking and fighting, but clearly Wilson taking 4, 5, 6 steps with that right arm draped around the waist of Hatcher, given a great opportunity here for Arkansas. Their entire playbook is open with 45 seconds and 2 timeouts left.
They were doing the tango in the end zone, and it's a pass interference, and it's a 1st and goal at the 8. Austin Allen, pitch pass inside to Sprinkle, and Sprinkle's got it down around the 2. 38 seconds. Arkansas, both timeouts still remaining.
Timeout.
And now they take
Arkansas.
38 seconds to go. Razorbacks knocking on the door and leading by a touchdown. 2nd down and goal at the 3-yard line. Arkansas trying to take a 2-touchdown lead to the locker room.
There's Jeremy Sprinkle.
And Morgan's the wideout to that way. Austin Allen now reverses his field, trying to run it in himself, and he gets tagged back around the 7-yard line by Duke Dawson. Caleb Brantley got the initial pressure, and that play just didn't look right from the get-go.
It certainly didn't. Florida bringing pressure off that outside edge, and it worked beautifully. It almost looked like they were going back to the well to run that same play that they did the play before to Sprinkle.
Their 3rd final timeout.
So another timeout with 20 seconds to go. It'll be 3rd down and goal. They'll have 1 shot at the end zone and then kick a field goal if they can't score. Remember, Austin Allen didn't throw a touchdown pass against Auburn a couple of weeks ago for the first time in 9 games. He doesn't have one here today. He's going to have 1 more shot. He told us yesterday if he really had to go to somebody, it would be Drew Morgan, number 80, who's in the slot to the right. Allen fires, ends up Halligan, touchdown. When you're going to have a favorite guy in a favorite spot, and he threw it to a beautiful spot. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Well, we asked him yesterday if he had to throw a football to win a football game, what would the route be and who would the receiver be? He said Drew Morgan. It was a 16-yard dig, but he just smoked Marcus May, the safety, for a nice touchdown. That's exactly what Arkansas wanted to do, and the Hogs are ready to play.
Boy, the Hog fans are digging it here at Reynolds Razorback Stadium as they head to the locker room, leading the 11th-ranked Florida Gators 21-7. Here's John.
Well, Brad, thank you so much. Coach, you wanted to establish this run game coming in here. How have you been so effective on the ground against this tough Florida defense?
Well, you know, in the last 2 weeks, we took a lot of pride in just getting better at what we didn't do well, and we haven't been able to run the football against good competition. One of the best defenses in the country, and our guys are just kind of getting after it. But we got to go in at halftime. We are playing a clean game on either side, take advantage of the looks we're getting, and obviously convert more 3rd downs.
Now, Austin Allen threw that pick 6 early, but he came back with an impressive drive to score that touchdown. What did you tell him early on to calm him down?
Just be him. We don't need him to be anybody else but number 8. He makes a really good number 8. Don't try to be somebody you're not. Don't force it in there. Step into your throws a little bit and obviously take advantage of the looks that we get.
Coach, good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
So the Razorbacks at home. Touchdowns by an interception, a run, and a Austin Allen touchdown pass, and they lead 21-7 at the half as we head to Adam Zucker and our guys in the New York studio. Adam. Just about set to start the 3rd quarter. Arkansas leading the 11th-ranked team of the country by 2 touchdowns. Jim McElwain's club's in some trouble. John was with him just a moment ago.
Coach, you knew you would get Arkansas's best shot. You're down by 14. What did you tell your team at the half?
Well, I believe in them. They got to believe in themselves, and we just got to come out. Starts with like winning 1st down. You know, that's what it is. And you know, they're getting after us pretty good. Give them all the credit that in the world, and yet you know what? We'll see what kind of team we are the second half.
Your quarterback, Luke Del Rio, is getting pressured. He threw 2 picks. And then your center, Cameron Dillard, goes down. Is he coming back for the second half? And if he can't, how does that affect the game plan?
No, he'll be. He messed his leg up, so that's why we got backups, and they'll go in and play their tails off.
Good luck in the second half.
All right.
Well, Aaron Mack wants him to win first down. As we take a look at our first half trends, you got to get some first downs. They've only had 5 of them in the first half.
Yeah, there's only been 5, and remember, this is the SEC's best. Luke Del Rio not getting it done. Austin Allen playing a little bit better, but the story of this game has been Arkansas's defense outplaying the second best unit in the country of the Florida Gators.
So Florida will get the football first to start the third quarter. Adam McFain to kick. Chris Thompson waits back in the end zone, and he's going to bring it out from 5 yards deep. Thompson, what a collision. The ball is out. I think it's still going to be Florida football, but that was a train wreck. What a hit by Mitchell on the kick coverage. You want to be a kick returner? Okay, go ahead. Listen to this. That hurts.
That's the way to set the tone for Arkansas. Coming out here in that second half, a clean hit, uses his right shoulder. It's low, jars the ball loose.
That hurt way up here. Wow. They keep the ball, though. They covered it at the 18-yard line. That's where Del Rio and company have to start. Cleveland, the freshman, moves to the left side. They're going to keep it on the ground. And getting out maybe to the 22-yard line on the ground. Arkansas with a 2-touchdown lead. We welcome you back, Brad Nessler, Aaron Taylor. I tell you what, we didn't expect that Arkansas's defense was going to play like this. We thought Florida's defense was going to play like this.
We certainly did, but credit Rob Smith, the defensive coordinator of Arkansas, doing a really nice job of making adjustments. Look how well these guys are tackling. I like Florida's strategy to come out here and establish the run. I think they got away from it too early in the first half. But again, Mack was concerned about Florida not winning on first and second down, and here they are, the best third down team in this conference with a third medium to start the second half.
They've had struggles on third down. They've had struggles on every down. They had 7 drives in the first half. 2 were interceptions, 4 were punts, and then the half ended.
They don't have a receiver with more than 1 catch. 7 receivers with 1 catch each.
I hate to say it's a big third down when it's this early in the third quarter, but for Florida it is, and there's nowhere to hide for Luke Del Rio. He hits the deck. The ball is incomplete. And Dietrich Weiss was the guy that was putting some heat on it. 4th down, and Florida's 3 and out again.
Just another remarkable stop that time by Arkansas defensively. Luke Del Rio didn't have anywhere to throw. The secondary for the Razorbacks doing a really nice job. I got to say, Ness, I wonder at some point if we're not going to see Austin Appleby today, whether or not the Gators need to make a change of quarterback to spark something offensively.
That's a good thought. Townsend, nice punt again. Jared Cornelius has got a shot at it from the 30. He's dropped in his tracks, though, at the 31-yard line. Nice punt coverage by Marcel Harris. But if you want to set the tone for the beginning of the third quarter, that might do it right there. Razorbacks back on offense from their own 31 when we come back. Well, it was man-up week, as John talked about earlier. That was the rallying cry. I'd say they have manned up so far, AT.
They certainly have in a big way, Brad. And that's Brett Bielema. I mean, you consider the fact that coming off a loss, he's 8-0 in SEC play. He's good in November, 24-12 overall record. They felt that they were hurt and that their pride, that they showed up in a way that wasn't like them. They challenged them. They all took responsibility and accountability. And they're about 22 minutes away from knocking off the number 11 team in the country with good physical line play on both sides of the line of scrimmage.
Defensive coordinator Jeff Collins over that sideline just hoping that Arkansas makes a mistake here on third down and long. And they don't. Morgan, what a catch. Got drilled by Harris, but he held on. You're not going to see too many better than that one.
No, the middle of the field was open there. 2 high safeties. Just a nice seam route, a skinny post by Drew Morgan. He knew he was going to get hit. He took a huge shot, but showing you those soft hands
That might put him over 100 yards receiving. He is one tough dude.
Oh, he plays with a chip on his shoulder. Nobody thought he was big enough. Nobody respected him. You see a penalty now thrown on Arkansas.
Brett Bielema was way out the hash mark. That might have something to do with it. And he's in David Smith's face. I don't know if this is going to be on Brett or if it's something else, but he was almost to midfield.
You see him pleading his case.
This is going to be an interesting call.
There is no foul for unsportsmanlike conduct on the coach. He was checking on an injured player.
I was thinking that myself. He was, his favorite player probably is Drew Morgan on the whole team. He just wanted to go out there and see if he's all right. So they pick up the flag. It's a first down. Morgan, I said he might have gone over 100 with that tough catch. He is at 96 yards on 7 carries, 7 catches, and a touchdown.
I would expect to see the run game get dialed up here. Put it on your offensive line, get lathered up, take control of the line of scrimmage, and ice this game.
2 tight ends. They give it to Ronnie Williams straight up the gut, exactly as Aaron called it, down to the 49-yard line. A nice play there.
Let's go back to that Morgan catch. He gets drilled, going up high over the middle, outstretched with the flipper. With the flipper, Marcel Harris right in the breadbasket. I'm an old wrestling fan. I know you and Ric Flair are pretty good friends. That was in the solar plexus.
Yeah, it sure was. Second down and a long 2. Ground game again, trying to find a hole and nowhere to run that time for Riley Williams. And Gavanis Davis is the first guy there.
Tell you what, on the play before that, there were a couple flatbacks, just some really beautiful blocks. That time up front by Brian Wallace, the play before that. But to Florida's credit defensively, they bowed their neck there and got a nice stop. Now this is a 3rd and short opportunity for them to get themselves off the field. Maybe you get Austin Allen off some play action, get him outside the pocket, and give him a 2-way go.
Well, not against a little option action here as well. 3rd down and 3. Allen to throw. Nope, Allen not to throw. Caleb Brantley. Boy, that pocket just collapsed in a hurry, and it's 4th down. But this is going to give Florida, I would think, pretty good field position on the receiving end for Antonio Callaway in this upcoming kick.
Here's Dan Skipper up at the top of your screen. This is just a finish block. A great pass that stones him, but he keeps going to and through the whistle. And right there just knocks C.C. Jefferson on his rear end. I like Dan Skipper, man. He's taken a lot of heat over the years for his playing style, and a lot of people thought it was a dirty play against Texas A&M a couple years ago that called that touchdown back, but he's really improved as an offensive lineman. I think his coach, Kurt Anderson's going to be kind of all right with what he saw there.
I was just thinking that. I don't think it'd be that mad unless it changes the complexion of the game. Somehow Callaway dropped the ball, but it goes out of bounds around the 22-yard line. That's where Florida will start offensively with 3:17 to go in a quarter. Jordan Cronkwright is in the backfield with Florida, but they come up throwing and they get it out to Callaway. And Callaway breaks 3 down the sideline, at least momentarily, before he's run out of bounds by Dwayne Eugene. They got to get this guy the football if they're going to win this football game.
You're spot on, Brad. I was just thinking that we need to see more out of Callaway. He's such an explosive player. They got to get the ball to his hands. The problem is they can't throw the football downfield. The intermediate and deep shots just haven't been there. So get the football out in space on the perimeter to your best playmaker. Good play call there and execution.
Under 3 in the 3rd as Del Rio loads again on 1st down. Throws short to Jordan Scarlett. And Scarlett, nice run after catch by Jordan before he's run out of bounds. And he's going to have another 1st down. Pickup of about 14.
Are you starting to feel the momentum change down there? Oh, yeah. So is everybody else in this stadium. It's getting quiet. Arkansas really putting themselves in a bind potentially, and Florida's got a great opportunity here, about to cross midfield. Everything they've dialed up so far has been working.
3 wideouts for Del Rio. Wants to throw in the flat, but that's covered, and now finds an open man, and it's Tyreek Cleveland who got to midfield before he's put down by DJ Dean.
I like DJ Dean. He's an athletic, physical cornerback that'll come up and hit you. But Del Rio doing a nice job, again, of taking what the defense gives him. He's letting the game come to him. They're also using a little bit more tempo, and I think that helps them. You play more, you react faster, and you think less.
That's his offensive coordinator, Doug Nussmeier, on the sideline. 2nd down and 8 from midfield. Del Rio, plenty of time in the pocket again. Going deep. Man out there. We're going to have an interference call, I think. No flag?
No.
No. Freddie Swain, the intended receiver. Andre Tolliver was covering.
Andre Tolliver, the DB that's been targeted almost the most on this team. Remember, in college football, there's no such thing as face guarding. There is no contact. But again, another underthrown football by Luke Del Rio brings up a 3rd and long here.
Obviously, Luke thought what I thought for a second. No call, 3rd down.
I thought it was good.
1 out of 7 on 3rd downs today for the Gators offense.
Going to bring pressure. They're going to change the picture. Not everybody will come.
He is pressured, throws while he's going down, incomplete. Dietrich Wise, who didn't start today because he'd been banged up. He doesn't look banged up to me right now. He looks fired up, not banged up.
Yes, he does. And I tell you what, this is what we expected Rob Smith to do. Crowd the line of scrimmage. They only bring 5. Against 5-man pressures, Luke Del Rio's accuracy goes down significantly. It took almost 3.5 quarters to get to it, but finally moving up front pays dividends for Arkansas.
Johnny Townsend's been a busy punter. Cornelius will have to call for the fair catch. He takes it around the 13-yard line with 1:34 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Now back on the ground go the Hogs. Pile up around the 30-yard line. Raleigh Williams with the carry. And we may not have another play before the end of 3. Brett Bielema, whose teams here at Arkansas have always been good in November. This is the best record he's had in 4 years at this point of the season. The first week of November at 5-3. They've usually been 3-5 or 4-4. Jim McElwain's team comes in with just 1 setback, but they are 15 minutes away from taking a blow on the road here that they were not expecting as the quarter comes to a close. The Razorbacks will hold up those 4 fingers while they head to the sideline. They've been pretty strong. Even guys that didn't start the game like Dietrich Wise flying high in Fayetteville. End of 3. Arkansas 21. Florida 7. We'll return to Fayetteville right after this message and a word from your local station. Not only an excellent receiver, but an excellent public speaker. That's Drew Morgan in between the 3rd and 4th quarter, giving his team the speech that he hopes 15 minutes from now will give them their 6th win of the year and an upset over the 11th ranked team in the country. To start the 4th quarter, 2nd down and 7 for the Hogs from their own 30.
Florida still without Jared Davis.
Play action for Allen. Wants to throw a screen out in the flat to Riley Williams with a convoy in front. Williams breaking tackles all the way out to the 47-yard line. Nice job offensively of mixing it up. And Riley Williams with a big catch and run there.
Just really good job of running that screen. We've seen that earlier, but Yelda Froholt and Frank Ragnow, number 51 and number 72, getting out front. 50, excuse me. And just a nice job by Raleigh Williams. When you run those screens on 1st down, you're expecting pressure. It baits the defense to get upfield. Great play call and execution there.
Boy, and he set that up, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
He got all of the blocking and then the cut back to the middle, and that Austin Allen almost ran into a sack, but a throwback screen. And here goes Riley. That ball rolling all the way to the 35-yard line and a 1st down. How can he still going, as a matter of fact? Helmets coming off. About 14 guys involved in a scrum, and he comes out of the pile with a 1st down.
This Arkansas team is firing on all cylinders. Just going to be a throwback screen, taking advantage of really good aggression. Dan Skipper making up for that holding call with a beautiful peel back block inside. He's going to check. He's going to see somebody coming. He's going to be able to set his foot in the ground and spring. Whaley, and then here's the scrum with the leg drive. This is what Arkansas didn't do against Auburn, but they may knock the number 2 defense in the country off today if they keep that up.
Back to Riley Williams. Short gain on the play. You know, give Austin Allen a whole bunch of credit on that throwback screen because he became a Gator sandwich as soon as he let go of that thing.
He absolutely did, and that's what allowed the play to be successful because he sucked those guys to him, which is what created the space for the big pickup afterwards. There's an art to running good screens. Here he is. He turns his back. He knows he's going to feel it. He just gets collapsed on by both defensive ends, Jefferson and Davis.
See, that's 2 pieces of white jersey that makes that sandwich. Now Riley Williams straight up the gut, got inside the 30. And it's going to bring up 3rd down.
That play had a chance there to maybe be a big springer, but Austin Cantrell, the fullback, didn't get as clean of a block as he would like.
19 plays in the opponent's territory, in this case at the 34-yard line. Number 20 is coming up, and Florida's had 1. And that's not good.
No, that's not going to win you a lot of ball games. I think the Gators are going to need for their defense to step up and make a play. They were struggling a little bit early in this game on 3rd down, but have buckled down recently, particularly here in the second half. This is going to be a big 3rd down and 6 coming up for this defense, who, remember, has been gashed on some screen plays, so they might not want to be as aggressive here, giving Austin Allen some time.
Not only that, Aaron, they got 2 true freshman linebackers in there because of injuries now. Boshan Joseph and David Reese. This is the 9th play of the Arkansas drive with the clock running down to 11:35. And should be a false start there. No flag. Looked like Cantrell was in motion. Meanwhile, Riley Williams bounced out the backside of that inside the 20. That's putting him over 100.
I agree with you. That didn't look right, but none of the offensive linemen moved, and nobody got inside the neutral zone. Just a beautiful run and effort that time by Williams to maintain his balance, following his blocks. Another good perimeter blocking. Gets that hand down, is just enough to get over the line to gain.
I guess Cantrell, the tight end that was in the slot, was just moving laterally and not forward, so no penalty. 1st down, back in the red zone with 10:55 to go. And it's Whaley. He earns a yard, maybe 2 out of it. As we take a look at the Verizon red zone. 2 trips, 2 touchdowns. Arkansas will take that all day long.
That's the story of the game, really. I mean, we talked about the importance of Arkansas being able to convert their opportunities in the red zone. After the dueling pick sixes we had early on in the game, things kind of settled down. Arkansas's ability to drive the field and pay those drives off with touchdowns is what has them up 14 points here on the number 11 team in the country.
So now on the season, Arkansas's offense has had 39 possessions in the red zone and scored 26 touchdowns. That's not too bad. There's the end around. Cornelius cuts it back up inside. Still, Florida stayed with it, and a short gain, maybe a yard on the play. It's going to bring up another 3rd down, but now we're ticking inside 10 minutes.
It's exactly what Arkansas wanted to do, and I thought that Cornelius made a bad read there. Austin Allen had gotten out to the outside and was setting up a block perfectly. A lot of times you want to get the foot in the ground and get north and south, but here's a 3rd and long opportunity. I know it'd be a small win, but for the Gators, you'd love to force Arkansas to kick a field goal here.
Arkansas is the top team in the SEC in time of possession at over 35 minutes. They're number 4 in the country in that capacity. Right now, they're just trying to chew up more of that clock. But this one is a long 3rd down, 3rd and 8. Allen fires going to his left, and it's incomplete. Intended for Drew Morgan. And so now they bring out the field goal unit.
You got to give a lot of credit to the Gators there for finding a way to get themselves off the field. Look at those guys. They're tired, man. Hands on the hips, heads down. They're not running to the football like they were earlier. It's a tired unit.
They've been out there a long time.
They certainly have. Their offense hadn't given them any rest, and you add the injuries to that.
Adam McFain, 4 for 4 on the year, his longest 54. This should be a chip shot, and he just tucked it inside the right upright. 3 more for Arkansas, and now they lead by 3 touchdowns. Devin Whaley in the scrum, part of that long drive that led to 3. And it's McFain that gives the Razorbacks a 24-7 lead. Adam said the sun was setting in Baton Rouge. It's about to set on the 11th ranked team in the country too, unless they can come up with something in a hurry. That drive, Aaron, 68 yards, 13 plays, 7 minutes 20 seconds for Arkansas. That's the key ingredient right there.
Absolutely.
McFain, who hit the field goal with the kickoff. It'll go to the 7-yard line to Cleveland. And Tyree Cleveland got across the 25. Swarmed under there. And so with 9:06 remaining in the ball game, Florida needs some offense, a bunch of it in a hurry. First down, Florida at the 26. Del Rio throws quickly this time out to Callaway on a wide-out screen, and they've had a hard time getting him the ball. That's only the 3rd time he's touched it, but he does pick up a first down.
Just before we came back from commercial, that was the very thing we were talking about. Hey, Florida has to go back to the things that were working for them. Those bubble screens and smoke routes and some crossing routes are about the only thing that they've had success on today. They run that there on first down, and it works.
Del Rio, now he's going to go to Callaway again on the wide side. Nice catch, nice throw, and out of bounds around the 49. Where's this been the whole day?
I tell you what, that was a beautiful throw by Luke Del Rio there. And that's 2 touches in a row from Antonio Callaway here.
On a crossing route, complete. Kronk right at the 32. Florida keeps their drive going. A little over 7 minutes remaining.
Man, you got to give credit Florida a lot of credit. They're putting a nice drive here. And ironically, the Gators are the worst team in the SEC in penalties, but it's been penalties that have been hurting Arkansas here recently.
Del Rio down the sideline, incomplete. No contact there. The pass intended for Josh Hammond, and Ryan Pulley was right with it.
He certainly was, and he was a guy that had dropped a pick 6 early on in that game against Auburn. They throw at him a lot, but I tell you what, he's responded here nicely. Had a pretty good afternoon. Florida not being able to get anything going through the air. Here's one of those other 3rd downs we're talking about again.
Under 7 to go. Longest drive of the day for Florida, helped out by a penalty, and it's 3rd down and 6. It's 2-down territory. Callaway's back in there at a wide receiver spot. Over the middle, intended for Ahmad Fullwood, and it's incomplete, and it's 4th down again.
Great job that time by the defensive ends, Jeremiah Ledbetter and Tevin Beanham, beating their tackles to the point, getting Luke Del Rio under a ton of duress. The same very thing that Florida did, or they did to Florida defensively.
Well, Jim McElwain wants to get it down to 2 touchdowns, so he brings out his field goal unit. Eddie Pinheiro, 10 out of 14 on the year. His longest was against Kentucky, 54. This will be a 49-yard field goal to try to cut it to 24-10.
6'10" offensive lineman Dan Skipper, pretty good at blocking kicks. There he is right there, number 70.
2 this year, 7 on his career. Pinheiro, kick on the way, and he got it. Well, they got 3 out of it. Eddie Pinheiro from long range has cut the Arkansas lead to 24-10 with his 11th field goal of the season. Florida trying to hang in with 6:41 to play.
As Florida goes for an onside kick, but recovered by the Razorbacks.
Yeah, that was a good-looking onside kick by Pinheiro. He kicked it with the back of his heel to the opposite side he was running, but Arkansas was all over it. Watch this kick. You can't say this wasn't well designed. Oh, he kicked it with his left foot under his right, but all over it was, guess who? Drew Morgan.
He went all river dance with that.
Arkansas is a pitch. And a big collision after a gain of about a yard. Raleigh Williams, Jordan Sherritt made the hit. But Raleigh Williams for the 5th time this year, 6th time in his career, over 100 yards. And when he goes over 100, Arkansas usually wins. And, you know, considering the neck injury and stuff that he had last year, boy, he played well. He's approaching 1,000. Came in with 807, which was 4th in the conference, and so now he's got 908 on the year. He's probably about a game away from hitting that magic number that so many of Brett Bielema's running backs have had, both at Wisconsin and here at Arkansas. And don't forget, we're going to see some pretty good defense tonight at 8 o'clock from Baton Rouge when Alabama takes on the Tigers in Death Valley. Third of our triple header on CBS today. Vern, Gary, and Allie will have it. But right now we got 6 minutes left to play here. Raleigh Williams going for all he can, dragged down by David Reese, but a positive gain to the 41-yard line. The clock ticking away. Florida with 2 timeouts.
They take one.
Their second.
Now down to 1.
Please reset the game.
We'll take it to 5:45 to play in Fayetteville. Jared Davis has been banged up all day. He's tried to play through a number of injuries. I'm not sure his left hand's not hurting too, unless I don't think that towel's wrapped around for fun.
Well, it's interesting on a 3rd and 4 situation here that can extend this drive and help them ice this game. Does Arkansas try to run it and take advantage of this defense? It's been on the field and been a ton of injuries, or they put the ball in Austin Allen's hand.
Morgan's in the slot to the right. They are going to keep it on the ground. Raleigh Williams cuts it up, and there he goes. Williams is going to ice this thing. Touchdown, Arkansas. Yards to the end zone for his 2nd rushing touchdown of the day.
Just some beautiful blocking on a pin and pull scheme. Right there, right there, right there, right there. It's the running lane, wide open. Some good north-south running by Raleigh Williams. Missed all of last season with a neck injury and could have just very well iced this game against the 11th team in the country.
McFain to try to make it 31-10, and he does with 5:40 to go. A stunned number 11 Florida right now, and an elated Arkansas sideline. They've been waiting 2 weeks to get that nasty Auburn taste out of their mouths after they got shellacked on the road. Came back home, had a bye at a good time. We were here for 3 days, and the whole time you and John and I and the rest of the crew have been talking and said, you know what? I think Arkansas is ready. I think they were. Connor Limbert will kick off. Well, Michael Pirine back deep for Florida. Tyree Cleveland and Thompson have been returning kicks today. Both of them have been injured, so they're down to kickoff return man number 3 for the Gators. Now a line drive job, bounces inside the 10, and did he touch it? He's going to have to pick it up now. It might have gone out of bounds. Either way, he's inside the 10-yard line. And not a lot of time left, and only 1 timeout remaining. Empty set. Del Rio throw from his own end zone. No, he won't. Sacked at the 1. Guess who? Dietrich Wise again. That is 11 sacks in the last 14 games, and he has been playing with a bad shoulder and a bad hand, and he's had one of his best games of the year.
No question. Jeremiah Ledbetter inside on that as well. This defensive line, remember, it was Jeff Collins, the defensive coordinator, who's talking about his unit needed to go, but it's been Rob Smith of Arkansas, whose front four has had an outstanding ball game.
And now Luke's going to have to throw from deep in his own end zone. Got rid of it in a hurry. Nice catch by Siate Lewis, a one-hander, and he got it out across the 15-yard line, and he's got a first down, I think.
Thought Andre Tolliver maybe had an opportunity to jar that ball loose on Lewis, and he pulled up because he didn't think Lewis was going to make the catch.
Lewis, who had a big touchdown catch in Jacksonville and a win over Georgia, one-hands that one and gives him a fresh set of downs at the 18-yard line.
I thought he had a hell of a game last week.
Yep. Crossing route. This is forward. And Arkansas giving up some yards right now, but time is of the essence with 4.5 to go. And some of these total yards, it's going to look a little better for Florida when this game is over. Their last drive that netted them the field goal, and right now working from their own 7 out to the 40. But they're kind of hollow yards right now.
Yeah, very much so. And Arkansas, if you're a defensive back, you want to keep everything inside and in front of you. Don't get beat over your head.
Del Rio's got to go short across the middle, but Powell can make a lot of guys miss, and he made 2 miss already. And inside the 40, another first down at the 39. Brandon Powell, who's not only a running back at times, but does some of the stuff Percy Harvin used to do. And just like this, on the crossing route, got free. And then the yards after catch gets him a first down.
He missed Antonio Callaway, who got behind the coverage. That could have been a touchdown if he had made a different read.
Under 4 to play. Del Rio flushed to his right. He's got a man wide open. He threw behind him. That was Cronkright, the tailback. He had pretty good position to make a play there. Ramsey was trying to stay with him, but errant throw by Del Rio.
Ramsey's been a defensive end for most of the year, but because of the changes they made over the bye week, they moved him to the strong side linebacker position or the Sam position. This defense for Arkansas playing quite a bit more base, which means their normal personnel, 4 down linemen, 3 linebackers, are a 4-3 than they have. Because of that, Ramsey's been on the field quite a bit more.
Empty backfield. Del Rio on 2nd down and 10. Deep middle. Oh, what a catch. Nice throw and catch. Josh Hammond, the freshman. And he's got another first down. Clock stops momentarily. They'll try to get down there and get a play off in a hurry. Back in the red zone at the 14-yard line.
I love what I'm seeing out of Florida. They're being aggressive, and Del Rio doing a pretty nice job.
It's only taken him 2 minutes and 15 seconds to get there so far. He pumps once. And now he's going to throw it away. He tried to sort of motion his receivers to go with him to corner and had to get rid of it. So at the 14-yard line, 2nd down and 10. Clock stop, 3:18. Florida's got 1 timeout remaining. They got to score in a hurry. Onside kick it and try to do it again. They got a lot of work to do, but they've done nicely on this drive. Del Rio got rid of it in a hurry. Just off the fingertips of Mark Thompson. Nicely timed pass. He just had a little bit too much on it.
That time there was pressure by Eugene, who was in coverage. But man, just a terrible missed opportunity by Mark Thompson, who returns to tonight's game from suspension. But man, so close yet so far for McElwain and the Gators. Because we're in the red zone here, the field shrinks. You don't have to play as conservative. I think the Razorbacks need to continue to pressure just like they did on that last down.
Antonio Callaway's up to the top of your screen. 1 of 3 wideouts that way on 3rd down and 10. Del Rio's in trouble. He's going down again. This time, Dejon Jackson got to him. And the clock will continue to go, working its way inside 3 minutes.
In a situation where you're trying to score and preserve time, a sack is about the worst thing you can do. It does give them a little bit more field to work with. They've had some success doing that. In a kind of a crazy way, you wonder if this is going to open things up here a little bit more for the Gators. But Dejon Jackson with his 2nd and a half sack of the season.
Well, they lost about 35 seconds, though, and they're still taking their time. Down to 2.5 to go. 4th and 17 might be the last time they touch it on offense. Del Rio throws to the end zone, and it's knocked down. Callaway looking for a pass interference. He doesn't get it.
That's Jared Collins in coverage. Great coverage. Turns and looks for the football.
Oh,
wow. He got away with one. He grabbed him by the waist. That should have been a pass interference.
Obviously, the opposing coach says no. Antonio Callaway was probably correct. And so it turns it over to Arkansas offense with 2:20 to go, and Florida can only stop it once with a timeout.
The play before that, Mark Thompson had the football at his fingertips that would have given the Gators a touchdown. Now it's time for the 4-minute offense and the Trench Hogs up front to end this game. This is the best and most fun part of a football game for offensive linemen.
Right in the middle of the heap there, and positive yardage again by Whaley. He does not let that pile drive him back very often. He uses that 216 pounds to his advantage.
He certainly does. A lot of losses from this offensive line a year ago, who was a finalist for the Joe Moore Award, which is a new award, but unique in that it recognizes the most outstanding offensive line unit in the country. These guys were a finalist. They changed their offensive line coach. Kurt Anderson comes in. They've had so many changes. Even today there's been personnel changes. But 200 yards and counting on the ground this afternoon against one of the better rush defenses in the country.
But Arkansas Whaley backpedals near a first down at the 30-yard line. They've got LSU coming in here next week. Then they're at Mississippi State and at Missouri the day after Thanksgiving. The way they played in November and the way they played today, they look like a team that could run the table, maybe.
There's no question. They picked themselves up off the mat. They got whooped in every phase. They folded. They were shell-shocked against Auburn. And Coach Bielema challenged them. He said, who are we? That wasn't us out there. Who are we going to be? They responded. They took accountability. They've stepped up. And they played a hell of a ball game here today against a very good defense.
They got a whooping 2 weeks ago, and they gave one this afternoon. And that is going to do it. The Hogs win their 6th. And they've beaten some good teams. Their 3 losses had come to teams that were in the college football ranking top 10, and they just picked off number 11 this afternoon, 31-10. Big win for the Razorbacks at home. And Austin Allen, a nice job in leading the offense. Don't forget Vern, Gary, and Alley with Alabama and LSU coming up later. For Aaron Taylor, John Tribbett, Brad Nessler saying so long from Fayetteville. Final score, the Hogs from beginning to end dominate 11th ranked Florida. And they win it 31-10 going away at Razorback Stadium. That's it from Fayetteville. Have a good weekend, everybody. The Jeep postgame show is coming up next, right after these messages.